Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to cover today. So before we get into these topics, as always, if you do end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, make sure you leave it a like. It really does help the videos a lot. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. The first topic talks about Summer Game Fest. It's happening this Thursday, and I know that many of you are looking forward to this show. We know that E3 isn't happening this year, and because of that, I think most people are looking towards something like Summer Game Fest to fill that void. And because of that, expectations are understandably so going to be pretty high. People are expecting some bigger announcements to be at Summer Game Fest, and we have Geoff Keighly coming out here and letting us know what we should expect and kind of addressing everybody and giving us some, I guess, advice. So he says here that Summer Game Fest will be primarily focused on previously announced games, says Geoff Keighly. Reading from PlayStation Universe, they say Geoff Keighly has revealed that the upcoming Summer Game Fest will be primarily focused on previously announced games, and as such, he suggested people manage their expectations when it comes to megaton announcements. Speaking on a Twitter Space audio session, Keighly mentioned a couple of titles that will be there, including the Callisto Protocol and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, as well as an appearance by Dwayne Johnson. However, he made it clear that people shouldn't expect too much from megaton shocks. And here's the direct quote. "What I would say is that a lot of games we're going to show you are going to be already announced games that are going to show new content to you, like some of the ones I've mentioned. We've got a couple of new game announcements in the show and hopefully some surprises if everything holds, but it definitely is a show that's primarily focused on stuff that is announced. So we're doing some good stuff for you, but definitely manage your expectations in terms of the megaton shocks that you're expecting. This is not the Game Awards. We've got lots of good stuff to show you, but buyer beware of some of the crazy rumors I'm seeing out there in terms of things people expect to get announced." So that is what Geoff Keighly has to say to everybody who is looking forward to Summer Game Fest. And I know that some people are going to automatically think, wow, that's disappointing. This isn't really what we want to hear. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm actually really glad that Geoff is being candid and being totally honest with telling people manage your expectations accordingly, letting us know that a lot of the games we're going to see are already announced. He does say that there are going to be some surprises, but he also references certain rumors of stuff that people may be expecting to show up. And this happens every year with every show, where there are rumors that sound relatively believable and plausible, and then there are those rumors that are just kind of out there, and pretty much I would say nobody is actually believing them, but there are some people who may still actually go into a show like this expecting some of those crazy reveals that just, again, don't sound believable at all. But I do appreciate, as I said, Geoff just kind of setting expectations, because he could do the opposite, and we never like it when that happens, where, you know, he hypes things up too much and then people are let down. So, you know, in this case, I'm hoping it'll kind of be the other way around, where he's telling people to just kind of, you know, manage your expectations accordingly. And if all goes well, we will leave the show or finish the show feeling like, wow, that was actually a little bit better, or maybe even a lot better than I was expecting. So that's what we're hearing from Geoff Keighly about Summer Game Fest. Next up, though, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok. We have two different things to discuss here. The first is actually coming directly from one of the actors, specifically the actor who is playing Thor in God of War Ragnarok. This is reading from WCCF Tech, where they say God of War Ragnarok is super complex and a rich tapestry, according to Ryan Hurst, Thor's actor. Speaking at Comic-Con Revolution in May, the actor described the game as super complex and a rich tapestry, likely also referring to how motion capture has been conducted for the game, as he was surrounded by monitors that allowed him to see his performance and how it would translate to the actual character. During the same interview, Ryan Hurst also revealed that he recently completed voice recordings for God of War Ragnarok. He also revealed that he did not audition for the role, but instead was pitched by two unspecified creators who spent 5 hours describing the game and the character. So yeah, this is what the actor who is portraying Thor has to say about God of War Ragnarok. He's saying the story is super complex, and to me, this is what's interesting about what he's saying, because I have no doubt that the story of God of War Ragnarok is going to be definitely something that surprises people, something that has some twists, something that I think may end up being bigger in some ways than people might be anticipating. I can't help but notice that the hype levels for God of War Ragnarok are seemingly not as high as you would think they would be at this point in time. I think maybe a big part of that is because of how quiet Sony has been when it comes to this game, as well as Santa Monica Studio. But the thing that I want to remind people of, and this isn't me trying to overhype the game, but it's just a fact, right? It's just something that has to be said. We have no idea what to expect or what's going to happen with God of War Ragnarok in this story. And I just feel the need to remind people of that, because I think there are maybe quite a few people who are anticipating it's going to end up being just a kind of been there, done that type of situation. But I'm not expecting that at all. I'm actually expecting some absolutely insane stuff with God of War Ragnarok and the conclusion to the Norse saga. And so, hearing Thor's actor say this, that it's very complex, rich tapestry, the whole thing, that's exactly what I'm anticipating. And I have a feeling that it's going to be a crazy ride, I guess, is at the very least what I'm anticipating with the story of God of War Ragnarok. But continuing to talk about God of War Ragnarok, we're hearing rumors that it's apparently set to show up at Summer Game Fest. Now, I don't know whether or not there's any truth to these rumors, but what I will tell you is obviously take them with a grain of salt. At this point, I think it's just a matter of kind of using your own judgment and trying to figure out for yourself whether or not you think it's likely. To give my opinion on this, I do think God of War Ragnarok showing up at Summer Game Fest does make sense. Some people might ask, well, why wouldn't Sony show it during their own State of Play? Well, this State of Play that they did was focused on third-party game reveals as well as PlayStation VR 2, and I think reserving something like a God of War Ragnarok release date trailer, for example, which isn't anything too insane, still something very exciting though, I think it makes sense for a show like Summer Game Fest. It's a compilation of all different games, all different publishers, and I have no doubt that Sony wants to be part of that conversation in a significant way. I think Sony is hoping that if they were to drop a God of War Ragnarok release date trailer during Summer Game Fest, that is one of the things that people are focused on and talking about when it comes to a big show like Summer Game Fest, because there are going to be a lot of eyes on this show. There are going to be a lot of people tuning in. I think it makes sense. We know that Sony has a good working relationship with Geoff Keighly as well, so it makes sense that they would kind of want to give him something like this. But at the same time, I wouldn't be that shocked or surprised if God of War doesn't show up at Summer Game Fest. I think that at this point in time, it's safe to say that no one really knows exactly what Sony's going to do, and we should really expect anything. But, just really kind of thinking about it, it would make sense, and I think the timing does sound right. And so I'm going to end this by saying I hope we end up seeing God of War Ragnarok at Summer Game Fest. I think Sony giving a short release date trailer would be the perfect thing to do at a moment like this, and then maybe later this month, maybe in July, possibly August, have that big blowout State of Play for God of War Ragnarok leading up to its launch. I think that is the ideal way to do it. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening. But we're moving on to the next topic, which talks about the Callisto Protocol once again, because not only is the game going to have a season pass, but it's actually going to have some PlayStation exclusive content, which comes as a bit of a surprise. I mean, for somebody like myself who plays primarily on PlayStation, and I'm very much looking forward to this game, I actually think this is pretty cool. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, they say the Callisto Protocol on the PS5 and Ps4 will apparently receive some exclusive content starting with the Contraband Pack that'll be offered as a pre-order bonus for all editions of the game, alongside the Retro Prisoner character and weapon skin. Following its recent showing at last week's State of Play, the Callisto Protocol was confirmed to be a cross-gen game, and it's already up for pre-order on the PlayStation Store. The standard edition of the Callisto Protocol will cost $70 on the PS5 and $60 on the PS4. The Digital Deluxe Edition, which comes with the Season Pass, will cost $90 on the PS5 and $80 on the PS4. And in case you were wondering why the Callisto Protocol made an appearance at the State of Play, considering it's a multi-platform game, looks like Sony has the marketing deal of sorts with Krafton and Striking Distance Studios. With one pre-order bonus already confirmed to be PlayStation exclusive, we're guessing there will be more PlayStation exclusive content or DLC first on PlayStation. And so for me, this was actually a pleasant surprise because, as you guys know, I'm very excited for the Callisto Protocol, and it's interesting to see that Sony is still doing these type of third-party deals. I mean, we know they're always trying to get marketing rights for certain games, but they are still kind of doing some of these deals where they're going to do some exclusive content, some exclusive DLC potentially, or first on PlayStation DLC, certain DLC packs, whatever it might be. And yeah, I mean, I know some people aren't a fan of this, but I think this is just Sony's way of trying to, you know, give something extra to PlayStation owners and maybe give people a reason to choose the PlayStation version of this game over, say, another version. So yeah, let me know if you're planning on playing the Callisto Protocol and what you think of some of the exclusive content that they're going to have here. That's going to do it for the video though, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll be interested to see what you have to say. Leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.